Welcome to another edition of the Solid Sports Video Blog. This is episode 27, and today's date is September 13th, 2017. Thank you so much for watching. Solid D Assassin here once again. My name is Troy West. Appreciate you guys so much for all the support I've been getting on the channel of late. Definitely check out all the rest of my projects, all my video game projects. Got a lot of retro stuff going on right now. So I appreciate it. Madden 18 as well. Got to start getting into that as well. So, of course, this is the Thursday night football edition of the Sports Blog. Of course, every Wednesday I'll be doing a blog throughout the NFL season. And today is no Thursday games, which I think the final 2 weeks of the season, I don't think there's any Thursday games. So up until that point, I'll be doing a Wednesday blog to preview Thursday night's game. Of course, this week is the Houston Texans against the Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams lost last week. Of course, it was a very, very eventful week one. A lot of teams looked impressive. Of course, I'm going to give you my power rankings at the end of the blog, near the end of the blog. Of course, you see New England get beat by Kansas City last week. I was way off about that. I had the New England score right, but I had them winning the game, of course. Kansas City played pretty well last Thursday, and Sunday it was a lot of impressive performances. The Raiders got it done on the road against the Titans. The Ravens defense looked good against the Bengals, shutting them out. The Vikings looked impressive on Monday night. A lot of teams was very, very sharp to begin the season. Others wasn't. Surprises, like especially this Houston team losing to the Jaguars the way they did. So we're gonna get into that now. Of course, both teams 0-1 as I mentioned. We'll start with Houston. They're the road team this week. The game in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a 5-point favorite in this game, which I think is probably a little bit too high, in my opinion. I probably would take the points if I was a betting man, I guess. But Houston, like I said, they lost last week to the Jags. Just got destroyed. 29-7. The offensive line looked terrible. They actually went to Deshaun Watson in this game and benched Tom Savage. But they haven't officially still named a starter for tomorrow's night game. Coach Bill O'Brien is still keeping that under wraps. If I had to take a guess, it's probably going to be Watson, because they said Watson is took in the first team snaps this week in practice. So that usually always means you're going to start. So he might be starting tomorrow night. To get on with him, he looked pretty decent despite the circumstance. When he got thrown in the game, he hit DeAndre Hopkins for a touchdown. Of course, you know his championship pedigree when he was at Clemson. In my personal opinion, I think they should just go ahead and go to him. Since he was able to make the switch, you know, this early. I mean, you might as well just stay with him now. Because Savage is just like a lot of quarterbacks in this league. You already know what his ceiling is. So Watson, you don't know what his ceiling is yet. So you might as well just go ahead and throw him out there. I guess the only trepidation is Houston is supposed to be a contender in the AFC. So maybe that's some trepidation why, you know, you won't make the switch. Some people saying since the offensive line is so bad, you should just stick with Savage, let him take the beat and don't put Watson in there. But I think you already made the move. Watson looked a little bit better, so I would just go with Watson. And this Bengals defense is not going to be easy to deal with either tomorrow night, so I'll just go with Watson. But he impressed me, the little clips that I seen. I didn't see this game live, but I did watch a lot of the highlights and the clips. And they broke him down. He made some good decisions. He did throw an interception in the game as well, but that pressure that the Jaguars put on the Texans was brutal. So, but most likely he will start. Can they bounce back? I think so. I like Houston in this game. I get to the score once I preview the Bengals. But I think Houston's defense is just as dynamic as the Ravens was, and they might cause problems for Dalton. But we'll see. I mean, Thursday night games are weird, as you see last week. You got a short week, especially now that the season started. Bengals might be a little bit desperate and motivated from getting embarrassed Sunday, so the Bengals might come out and look completely different. So, but I'm leaning towards Houston. Like I said, I don't think the Bengals should be a 5-point favorite. Speaking of the Bengals, of course they lost last week to the Ravens, 20-0. Got shut down. Now this game I did see live because I'm in Baltimore, so you know you get to watch your local team all the time. I do got the NFL Red Zone, so I check that out sometimes. But I don't mind not being able to watch every game. I like sort of the, not saying that, you know, it might be some games on that you don't want to watch, but if I mean you can't really watch 12 games at once, so that's how I look at it. Like, so I'm kind of glad I can focus on one game and watch it and enjoy it. But anyway, the Bengals look terrible. Dalton 4 interceptions, played very, very poor. Ravens defense though looks sharp on all levels. The secondary and the front seven looked amazing. Put pressure on Dalton, turned the ball over. I think they turned them over 5 times total in the game. But the bright spot that the Bengals should carry is they running back. Jeremy Hill broke a couple of big runs. Joe Mixon, the rookie, broke a few runs. Bernard as well. So I would lean, if I was the Bengals, I'd go in and try to lean on the running game. Maybe have Dalton take the pressure off Dalton a little bit, lean on the running game and try to control the game that way. But their defense is pretty decent. They don't have Burfict for another 2 games, so he won't be playing in this game. Pac-Man Jones will be back. Supposedly he should be ready to go this week. He had a 1-game suspension for the trouble he got in the offseason. They gave him a 1-game suspension, so he'll be back. So he should be ready to play tomorrow. Like I said, I really think it's going to be. I might have to change my score because I got Houston winning by 10, but I might give the Bengals a few more. I think I'm gonna change my score, which I'm about to get to. But can the Bengals score? That was one of my questions I had wrote down. That's probably why I only gave them 10 points, but I think I'm going to give them 16. Just think they're going to be desperate. They're going to be trying to prove a point. They got embarrassed last week. I don't think they're going to play that bad again, even though Houston defense is capable of making you look that bad with Watt and Clowney coming at you. Could force Dalton again to throw the ball. I think they're going to be more conservative, try to run the ball, and control the game that way. So my bottom line, like I said, I got Houston winning the game. But like I said, I wrote down Texas 20, Bengals 10, but I think I'm going to give the Bengals 16. I think they're going to get another 6 points out of it. Like now that I look at it, Houston offense, I don't think they still got some days to work out as well. As far as fantasy, for the Bengals, I played probably, if I was going to play anybody, I'd probably play any of the running backs. Of course, AJ Green is like a person that you just play all the time. As far as Houston, I got DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to play him because my receiving core in my fantasy league is sort of thin. So I pretty much, I guess I don't have a choice, but I think he's a better option than some of the receivers I have on my bench. So I'm going to go ahead and play him, but don't expect much out of him. And like I said, Thursday night games, I don't really like to play players, especially if I'm iffy about them, because I just don't like getting into a hole or rough start to begin the week. So, but I think the Houston gonna go up there and win. I wouldn't be shocked if Cincinnati win this game, but I feel more confident about Houston. I think Houston win 20-16. That's my score for tomorrow night. I think the defense is a little bit better, and I think they're gonna make one big play or two, and that'll be enough to win it for them. So I got Houston winning tomorrow night, 20-16. Both teams need this win. Bengals already, Ravens won, Pittsburgh won, so you don't want to go down 0-2 and probably possibly be 2 games out of the division already. Houston, same thing. I think Jacksonville, because they lost to Jacksonville, so they won. Tennessee lost, and the Colts lost. It was supposed to look bad last week, so wouldn't be, if they go 0-2, I think they could probably recover from it. I don't think Cincinnati would. I think it'd be a tougher road for them, but I think it's gonna happen. I got Houston winning 20-16. Alright, so let's get to the power rankings now. Like I said, every Wednesday I do my power rankings. Like I said, I've mentioned it before, I really like ESPN, but I didn't agree with their power rankings. They got the Steelers #1. I got the Steelers high too because they won. My criteria is like basically, of course, how you look in the game you just played and how good I really think you are. So I kind of mix those two together. So, of course, there's some big changes in this week's power rankings. Of course, I only do the top 5. I don't break all 32 teams down because basically that'll take you all night if you try to do that. So I just take the 5 teams. I think that's the best 5 right now. Alright, so I'm going to start from number 5. Number 5, I got the Oakland Raiders. Like I said, I really was impressed by them last week going into Tennessee. Tennessee supposed to be a contender. At least everybody said they are. Raiders got big expectations. Still trying to grow, so I think that was a big game for them to come on the East Coast and win, which is not easy for the West Coast teams to do. So I was impressed by them. I got them in the top 5. They didn't, of course, make the list last week. Number 4, I got the New England Patriots. Yeah, they just lost. But it's just one game. I don't try to put too much into one game, but I dropped it on the 4th. Of course, they was #1 last week. Like I said, I think, well, going forward, they're going to have problems, because now, like I said, they lost Hightower and Amendola. Don't know if they're going to be ready for this week's game or not. But if they don't get those 2 guys back, then I think there'll be some big losses. I think Tom Brady ain't going to play as bad as he did. I think they're going to play better. They play New Orleans next, so New Orleans defense is not that good, so I think they'll probably get back on track and win next week. The Atlanta Falcons, they was 5th last week. I moved them up to 3rd. They won. They only beat the Bears. I understand that, but they was 5 last week, so I moved them up because they won. And they got a big game with Green Bay this week. Should be an awesome Sunday night game. Probably one of the biggest games of the week. So I can't wait for that game. The offense looked kind of anemic, but my thing with the Falcons, just like some other teams, a dome team going on the road don't usually look as good. So they'll be back at home, probably wind up being a shootout with Green Bay this Sunday night. Number 2, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They played the Browns. They didn't look good. They're another team that don't look as good on the road. But they was 4th last week, so I moved them up to 2. Like I said, some power polls I seen got them #1. I just don't think they better than the team I got #1 right now. So that was basically the tiebreaker for me, and the team I had last week was number 2, which is the Green Bay Packers. They're at the top of my power rankings. Their defense surprised me, even though Seattle's offensive line is terrible, but I still think the Green Bay secondary played a lot better. Aaron Rodgers still looked like Aaron Rodgers, even though they only scored 19. But Seattle defense is pretty stout, so I still made some plays. To me, they looked the best out of everybody last weekend. Of course, Seattle was on my list. They fell out of the top 5 due to Green Bay's win. So Green Bay #1. I got Steelers #2. I got Atlanta #3. New England Patriots #4, and Oakland Raiders #5. And that's my top 5 power rankings for the week. Of course, I do one every Wednesday before I preview the Thursday night game. So coming up this week, week 2, like I said, a lot of big games. Of course, Green Bay, Atlanta, Pittsburgh. I think they play. Who the Steelers play this week? Did they play? No, they back at home. I think they got the Bears next. Well, no, Tampa Bay have the Bears. I remember that. I think they play somebody of significance. I probably should have looked it up before I got on here. But I mean, I definitely break down all the games for week 2. Saturday on my normal sports blog. Of course, a lot of other stuff going on in sports. Of course, the big fight this week, Triple G against Canelo Alvarez. So I touch on that. More baseball. The Indians still winning 21 in a row now. They won earlier this afternoon. We hope it'll be a fun show if they still have that streak by Saturday. That'll be interesting. Of course, I'll probably try to fit some NBA in somehow. I think I'm gonna do a point guard list or something. Get the NBA in. So just check out my blog on Saturday. Of course, all my other projects, my video game projects. Check all of those out. I'll be doing videos. Mega Man is one of my main projects right now, so go check that out. And of course, enjoy the football. Week 2 should be another exciting week. I'm so glad football's back. And that will do it for this edition. Got Houston winning tomorrow night, 20-16. I think they bounced back from their week 1 loss. I think the Bengals, as that seat for Marvin Lewis, is something I didn't even bring up. Probably going to start to get hot if he loses this game, especially if they lose badly again. Next week's game might wind up being interesting. 49ers, they lost last week, but I like what they're doing with their young talent. Even though the Panthers pretty much dominated them last week, and they will host the LA Rams, who played the Colts. They dominated them, but they still look pretty good. So, and the division games are always interesting, regardless of the talent. So that'll be next Wednesday's edition. Will feature those 2 teams as I will break down the game as well. Well, thank you as always. That'll do it for this edition of the blog. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support. Again, like I said, if you want to play Pick Six Picker with me on the ESPN Fantasy app, download the app. All the information, actually, like I said, go back a couple of episodes, watch my NFL special edition preview show. Watch that, and the information is there. Probably everyone before that mostly have that information in it. The password and everything. If you want to play, you still can play. It's not too late, even though it's after week 1, so already down in the hole. But you never know, it could come back. I went 10-5 last week picking games, so that's not bad. You know, the Patriots game got me. That was probably one of my biggest shocks that got me. So I did pretty decent last week picking games. So, but if you want to play, definitely welcome to doing that. And I see you guys Saturday. That'll do it for this edition. Troy West said thank you always for y'all support, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much.